So today what we are going to do is uh, we are going to discuss cascading if-else ladder. So I'm going to open the Python IDE. Now cascading if-else means what? Simple if you have already seen if-else questions. You have already done the practical for that. Now what is cascading if-else ladder? If you have to check more than one condition, then what will you do? So for that purpose only we use the cascading if-else ladder. If-else ladder. Here the syntax is like this. You have if condition 1, if that is true, then execute statement 1. Be state one statement or multiple statements. Elif, now we are using another keyword here, that is elif, that is else if first condition is true, execute the statement, else otherwise if another condition is true, that is condition 2, then in that case execute statement. If another condition is true, then execute that statement, and this can continue like condition 3, statement 3, and this thing can continue for n number of times. And the last, then again I am going to write here elif condition. So suppose now I'm going to give condition n. Okay, and if that is also true, then statement n. Okay, and if none of these conditions are true, then the last resort is else. Got it? So just look over here. It goes like this. If the first condition is true, execute statement block 1. If the first condition is false, move on to condition 2. Okay, and execute statement 2. If second condition is also false, move on to condition 3. Execute statement 3, and you can have n number of such conditions here. So you can see it is forming a ladder. Okay, so that is why it is known as cascading if-else ladder. And last of all, suppose you have this last condition here, and this last condition is also not true, then there is only this last resort. That is, I'm just using this last resort. That is, जब कोई भी कंडीशन आपका ट्रू नहीं है तो लास्ट जो एल्स वाला पार्ट है वो एग्जीक्यूट होगा, राइट? इट मींस दैट firstly I told you that there is no condition, else never accepts condition. Condition will be accepted by if keyword and elif keyword only, not by the else keyword, right? And last is, this is the last action. When none of the conditions is true, then if you want to do something, you can do it, right? So this is the cascading if-else ladder. You will understand this only by solving multiple questions. So we will see one example of this. We'll see one example. Just a moment, I'll just take a. Now a question I'm giving you. Write a program in Python to accept three numbers, accept a number and say whether it is positive, negative, or zero. So you have to say whether a number is positive, negative, or zero. In the earlier case where you just had one if and one else, so that was suitable for those questions where you need to check only one condition. If condition is true, do this, otherwise do that. So all these type of questions In all these type of questions, that simple if and else structure was suitable. But what if you have number of different conditions to check? If it is raining, fine, carry an umbrella with you. If it is not raining, then next you check whether it's too hot. Then also you need to carry an umbrella or tie up your or wrap up your face with a cloth. Okay. Otherwise, you can easily enjoy the weather. So it is something like that. Okay. So it is like if two or more conditions are there, then in that case we use cascading if else ladder. So here, first of all, we need to understand what is the question. So you have to accept a number and say whether it is positive, negative, or zero. How can you say a number is positive, negative, or zero? When is a number positive? When is a number zero? Can anybody tell me? Yes.
Ma'am, when a number is greater than 0, then it is positive, and when it is less than 0, it is negative, and when it is 0.
Yes, very good. See, if you have, you all know the number line, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you all have studied this in mathematics, so you all know about the number line. So it is something like this. Straight line is there, and somewhere in between you have the zero, and towards the right hand side, this is the right side, and this is the left side. So towards the right hand side, you have all the positive values, and towards the left hand side, you have all the negative values. So this way you can figure out if a number is directly equal to 0, it means it is 0. If a number is greater than 0, that means it is a positive number. And if it is less than 0, it is a negative number. So we are going to use exactly this way. Okay. How to do it? Again, I'm going to draw a flow chart here. First thing, start your program. Okay. Now, what we need, accept a number. So I'm drawing the input box here and I'm writing here, read num. That is accept a number, right? Read num from the user, or you can also write input num, right? Now this num is given to you. Now we need to check a condition. Is num greater than 0? Answer will be either yes or no. So if it is yes, we will be doing something. Okay. Sorry. If it is this side for obvious reasons. Okay. So if it is yes, some course of action will be taken. If it is no, some course of action will be taken. So if it is yes, then we can directly print. Again, I'm using the input output box. That number is what? Positive. Okay. If it is no, I will check whether the number is less than 0 or not. Or you can also check whether the number is 0 or not, because the last resort will be negative. Okay. So here I am writing if num is less than 0. If it is not greater than 0, it should be less than 0. So I am checking that. It should be less than 0 or equal to 0. So I am checking this. I am not using less than or equal to 0 because I need to print these three things separately. Okay. Greater than 0 means positive, less than 0 means negative, and if neither one of these is true, then it is 0. So here also, if it is yes, then I'll be taking some course of action. If it is no, I'll be taking some course of action. So if it is yes, that is if number is less than 0, then I will be printing what? Number is negative. Understood? And if it is no, then I will simply be printing. अब और कुछ check करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Why? Because if the number is not greater than 0, not less than 0, obviously it will be 0 only. So you can see two decision boxes in this. Okay, and this forms a cascading if else ladder. Now once it is printed, it is 0, end. Now what happens if the number is greater than 0, it is positive और अपना काम खत्म. directly go to end. No need to evaluate these or no need to execute these statements. If the number is not positive, if it is not greater than 0, go to the next condition. Okay, is it less than 0? If it is yes, print that the number is negative and again join this edge to this edge because it will go to end. And if it is not less than 0, again print that the number is 0 and end. So you can see that if either of the conditions is true, if this condition is true, these will not be executed. Got it? If suppose over here this condition is false, this condition is false, so this statement will also not be executed. If this is true, this statement will be executed and this 0 will not be executed. And if it is like none of the conditions above is true, this is also false, this is also false, so this statement won't be executed, but the last resort will be executed. That is 0. Understood? And for each of the three cases, once it is done, your program will terminate. Is that clear? So this is a flowchart, a simple flowchart, and now I'm going to write the program code. So watch it very carefully. So firstly, num equals int input, enter a number. Right? If num is greater than 0, print. Now I'm going to print it like this: num, comma, is positive. How is it? What is it going to print? Whatever number the user is giving, it will first print that number and then it will add that string is positive to it. Right? If num is less than 0, print num and last resort else, print num is right. I'm going to save this program, my Python programs, and this is positive, negative, or 0. So now in this program, let us do a dry run. Okay, dry run means, note this, we are going to do a dry run. It means executing the program on pen and paper. Okay, right. So we will not, because in your theory exams, you will not get your computers or PCs with you. So what is the ultimate way to check the code? It is simply to execute the program on pen and paper. So how are we going to do that? So first let us check the output here. I'm going to run the program, enter a number. So I'm entering a number 5. 5 is positive. Going back, again run. I'm entering -6 is negative. And I'm entering 0 is 0. Okay, so now I'm going to just copy this code and come back to my whiteboard. Now, suppose, now how you are going to do the dry run. Now, every time you write a program, students, the best way to check the working of the logic of your program is to do the dry run. Okay. Don't ask the teacher. Teacher won't be able to tell you whether the code is correct because everybody writes code differently. Okay, I will write a certain code differently, you will write it differently. The best way to check whether it is working or not first is to do the dry run. Okay, that is to check more or less that it is falling into place. Then once you write the code, you can easily remove the errors, remaining errors. Okay, so here dry run. Now we start with the first statement, as you can see here, that is num. Okay. So in the memory, you will be seeing that num is an integer value, and suppose the user gives the value 5. Okay, so you will use some test values of your own. Coming to the next statement, this is a condition. If num is greater than 0, so you are going to check is 5 greater than 0. What answer will you get? Is 5 greater than 0?
Yes.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
So you will be getting what? True value over here. That means my condition is true. So what will be printed on the screen? Num is positive. What is num? Num is 5. So here there is an output screen. So what will be printed? Num is positive. So this statement, because the condition was true, the statement was true. इसने अपना काम कर लिया. Now if you can see that if the first condition was true, there is no need to check the rest of the conditions. So this will not be checked. This will be skipped, and else part will also not be executed. So सारे आपके skip हो गए, and program control goes to exit from here because there are no more statements after. Got it? If I add a statement, now I'm adding a statement here. You can see I have removed the indentation. I have just added this, that is all. Right? So this, that is all. Tell me what you are going to do is you will be doing a dry run on your own. Today when you come for the practicals, you do this dry run. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to take some other value for this. So I'm going to just remove all this. And let's take a negative value this time. So this time I'm taking num equals minus 13. Okay. So it is already read by the user. If num is greater than 0, so is minus 13 greater than 0? Tell me.
No.
False.
No,
It is false. That means this condition is false. So this statement will also not be executed, right? Now over here we go to the next condition. If num is less than 0. So now we are checking whether the number is less than 0. So minus 13 less than 0. What will it evaluate to?
True.
This will be true. Okay. That means this condition is true, and because the condition is true, this statement will be executed. Arrow will always point to those statements which will be executed. So this is going to be executed. So num is negative. That is minus 13 is negative. Right? And we have also added one statement here. So I'm going to print that. Right? So now it is already done. So we don't need to execute else part because one of the conditions is already true. So अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाएगा program control? The program control will come to this statement. Why? Because you can see there is no indentation given to this statement. That is, it is out of the if, elif, else block. Okay. Hence, what will be printed here? That is all. Got it? So this that is all will be printed irrespective of the fact whether the first condition is true or second is true or the else part is being executed. Right? किसी भी कंडीशन में लास्ट वाला स्टेटमेंट एग्जीक्यूट होगा क्योंकि इसमें कोई इंडेंटेशन नहीं दी गई है. बाकी के स्टेटमेंट्स में आप देखो यहाँ प्रिंट में इंडेंटेशन है, इसमें इंडेंटेशन है, इसमें है, लेकिन इस वाले प्रिंट में इंडेंटेशन नहीं है. इसका मतलब ये है कि ये आपके इफ एल्स ब्लॉक का पार्ट नहीं है. गॉट इट? सो प्लीज register this fact in your mind. Now we are going to see the dry run for the third case, that is when a user enters 0. What will the program give? Or how the flow of control will be handled. So suppose now the value of num which the user has given is 0. And we are over here. Is num greater than 0? No, false. Because it is equal to 0. It is not greater than 0. This won't be executed. Go to the next. Is If is num less than 0? No, that is also not true.
False.
And now there is only the last resort left, that is else. दोनों सही नहीं है तो अब now I'll give you an example related to this. Okay, suppose you are going to visit your native place and there is only, and it's in a very remote town where only 2 trains go. One train reaches there, or one train starts in the morning from your place where you are staying currently, and one at night. There is nothing in between. So you miss the first train and the other one is at night, and you don't want to take risks traveling at night. So that means first वाला miss कर दिया आपने, first वाला condition हो गया false. आप रात वाली train ले नहीं सकते. You want to reach the place while it is still daylight. Okay, so what is the last resort? You have to go by bus. So this is the last resort. Means if none of the conditions is true, whatever is in the else part will be executed. Now we come to this part. What is being printed? Num is 0, that is 0 is 0. Sounds quite ridiculous. Okay, and after this statement will be executed. That is all. Because it is not part of the if, so ये तो execute होगा ही होगा. So all those statements which you don't want to be a part of any condition, they will lie outside. And how to decide? You can see indentation here. Follow the blue color. This is indentation, this is indentation, and this is also indentation. Right. So wherever indentation is given, it means that statement is a part of some program block. Is this clear to everybody? Cascading if else ladder, the dry run,
Yes,
okay, indentation, and statements lying within the if else block or outside the block. Let's do one more question. Okay. Display the appropriate message as per the color of signal at the road crossing. Everybody knows the color of signals at the road crossing, right? How many colors do we have at the road crossing? I'm naming this program as traffic signals. Okay, this is my question. How many signals do we have? This is a very simple question.
red, yellow, and
signals. Red, yellow, and green. These three are the most common one. Okay, red, yellow, and green. See, ऐसे करके ना, you need to analyze. See, whenever you people solve a problem, that is, whenever you, what do you do in math? You solve a problem on pen and paper. Can you think? Can you imagine writing a program without pen and paper? Tell me.
No, ma'am.
Sorry, can you imagine solving a math problem without pen and paper? No. So
No,
similarly, you have to register that in your mind. You cannot write program, you cannot code programs in computer science until and unless you work them out in your copy, until and unless you solve the logic in your copy. So you have to sit with your copies and pen, okay, in front of the computer. You see a program, if it is very easy, you can directly code it. But if it needs a little bit of thinking, work it out in the copy, right? Don't hesitate in doing that. Like many students, ma'am, ये वाला question समझ में नहीं आ रहा. आपने ना तो उस question पे कोई workout किया है, ना आपके पास कोई copy है, ना pen है, ना paper है. How do you expect to solve that problem until and unless you work on that? So please follow this. So just like I am doing it right now over here. Okay. So red means what? Stop. Yellow means caution. And green means go. So these are the three things you already know. So what you need to do is how to display the appropriate message. So if suppose you are first going to ask from the user, what is the color of the signal light, right? So let's write this program. You are going to ask from the user the color of the signal light. So let's take a variable color here. Okay, input. What is the color of the traffic signal? Right. And because I'm asking for a color from the user, user will typically enter a color, right? Or I can also do it this way, like I can take color. Okay, first let me do it this way, right? So I'm asking for that color and I'm also giving the user a choice. Three things: red, green, and blue. You can make it even easy for the user by providing that enter only R for red, G for green, and B for blue. जितना आप यूजर के इजी कर सकते हो, because see, if you ask from the actual color from the user, some users might enter red in small. Okay, some users may enter it like this, some users may enter it like this, some may enter it like this, some may enter it like this, n number of combinations. Okay, so there is also a way to solve that. I will tell you how we can do it using a function, a library function. But right now we are only going to ask from the user the color code or the color letter. R for red, G for green, and B for blue. Okay. Now, if color is for checking equality, we always use double equal to sign. Okay. So if color is red, so now what is R? R is a string object. So it will be enclosed within either single quotes or within double quotes. So if color is R, okay, then print stop. Elif color is what? G, that is green. Print go. अब यहाँ ध्यान दो. Suppose user says, user enters O, user says orange. Maybe it's not a, the user who is running the program, maybe a small child. So out of, I mean, like everything is like a plaything for children. Okay, so they might enter O. So in that case also, your program is going to print the last one. That is, okay, I did some mistake. Red, green, and yellow it should be. I take to RGB. Fine. So yellow, Y for yellow. So instead of yellow, user may enter pink or purple. Okay. So we don't want that, right? So that is why I'm going to again use elif over here. Color equals what? Yellow. That is Y. I have used double quotes here. I have used single quotes here. It is absolutely correct. Why? Because I am making sure that I start with a single quote, I end with a single quote. I start with a double quote, I end with a double quote. Understood that? So these things it will automatically, koi sikha ke nahi dega. These things will automatically click in your mind the more you practice. Understood? So please practice, nahi mat chhodna bilkul bhi. Okay, you cannot study computer science without giving time to coding. You have to spend time coding programs. Otherwise, you cannot master, you cannot study computer science. This is a fact and this is not going to change. Okay. Then print yellow. And for, okay, I'm not going to print yellow, I'm going to print caution. Right. So there will be a caution, and for go I can just give a kind of a zoom effect that you can go, and stop means halt. So for that I can just give stop like this. Okay, stop. So I just gave some, added some extra effects to that, right? So now over here, and don't need the third one. You don't need anything in the else part, right? यूजर ये तीन चीजें आर जी वाई देता है तो ठीक है, नहीं देता है तो नो नीड टू डिस्प्ले एनीथिंग. योर प्रोग्राम विल सिंपली डिस्प्ले अ मैसेज. या तो आप इसको खाली छोड़ दो, कुछ मत दो. ओके, सो आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू दैट वन. So now let us run the program. Okay. Now suppose color of the signal light right now is red. So I am giving R. Gives stop. Right. I give the color of the signal as orange O. There is no output. Why? Because हमने else part दिया ही नहीं था यहाँ पे. If you want that, okay, if user is not entering any valid traffic signal color code over here, then the program should print something like invalid color code. And the program should terminate. Right. So अब यहाँ पे जैसे user ने pink दे दिया, P, invalid color code. Okay. User gives R, red, stop. User gives green, go. Got it? User gives yellow, Y, that is caution, right? And user gives any other thing, X, Y, Z. That will be what? Suppose X is given, invalid. तो आप चाहो तो इस लास्ट एल्स पार्ट को आप स्किप कर सकते हो. यू कैन स्किप इट और यू कैन input it depending upon your wit. Okay, see, it is up to you how you decide to create the program. Somebody else will be using your program. So in the previous case where we saw the color code given was O and there was no, it was not a valid color code, there was no output to the program. So the user is like in a fix whether the program might have malfunction or what is this, there is no output, there should be something wrong with the program. So the person who is using the software is left clueless, right? So that is why it is a good programming practice to provide proper prompts to the user, right? Now I'm giving you one more, there could be a number of different cases here. What if the user enters R in capital letters? Your program should check that also, right? So I'm going to use an operator, a logical operator, or in between. Okay, in detail I will explain later. Right now, what is OR? The OR operator is a very special operator, students, and it is a logical operator. We have three logical operators. And, OR, and NOT. So I'm only going to tell you about OR right now. So OR says that both conditions, if we have a condition 1 and a condition 2 on either sides of it, so it means either this, if first one true is true, then also it will give you true. And if first one is false, second one is true, then also it will give you true. Means any दोनों में से कोई एक condition true होनी चाहिए. तो और आपको क्या देगा? True result. If both conditions are false, so I'm just drawing a truth table over here. It is like, see, first condition and second condition, right? And the result of OR operation. So over here, suppose the first condition is true, second one is true, result is true. First is true, second is false, still it is true. First is false, second is true, still it is true. Both are false, only then it will be false. Right? So this is how OR works. So over here, I am writing whether user gives R in small letters or in capital letters. Your program will give the output. So I wrote it that way. Okay. Also, OR color equals G. And you can see I have used single quote. So I can use that interchangeably, not a problem. Is equals to, and I'm using double quotes over here. Capital Y. Okay. So now whether I enter capital letter or small letter, like I'm entering here capital Y, it is giving me caution. Again, I'm entering small y, it is still giving me caution because you included this particular code over here. And there is one more alternative to this. Okay, what is that? If instead of this code, now I'm going to just copy this code and paste it here. There is one more alternative, that is instead of writing this equal, because you have to write too much in this. I can simply write if color in, I'm using an operator in, a membership operator in, and I make a tuple, and within that tuple I specify small r, capital R. Okay, and if suppose user, by default the user prints red, that also I can give, but I'm not giving because there is one more way which I'll show you. So I'm writing it like this. So instead of writing equal to and all that, I'm simply writing if color in is small g or if it is capital G. Last one also, if color in small y or capital Y. It means if color which user has entered, it falls within this list. If it is false, if the user enters small r is a member of this list, right? So it will, the condition will be considered as true, right? Same way if color in small g or capital G. Same way if color in small y or capital Y. You will get the correct answer. So I'm going to run this. I'm entering small y for yellow, I get caution. I enter capital G, I get go. I enter capital R, I get stop, right? So it will run for all these letters. Understood? This is a second way of doing the same program. Now I'm going to tell you the third way. The third way is, suppose user wants to enter, from the user you directly want to enter this red, green and yellow. You don't want the user to enter letter, but you want to enter direct color code. Okay. So now user can, like I said earlier, user can enter in any of these formats. I'm just going to wind up. Give me 1 minute. So here user may enter it in this format. Red in small, capitalized, uppercase, toggle case. Okay, anyway, in user can enter it. So for solving that problem, what we are going to do? I'm going to use a string function here. If color dot lower, this function will convert whatever is in color to all lowercase letters. Okay, irrespective of the case. Means in this case, you can see it will convert this into only small red. Okay, and then I can check if this is equal to red and stop. For the second one also I can write if color dot lower is equal to green, go. If color dot lower to yellow, then push. And will run. So suppose I enter red like this. Stop. It's giving me the correct answer. Okay. If I add green like this, still giving me the answer. So this is how I can do it for color of traffic signal. I hope you all understood today's class.